Today, I want to talk about the unacceptable risks of making data driven decisions about our kids with the wrong set of numbers. I don't think it matters what type of beliefs we hold, values or beliefs about religion or politics or a lot of different things. Almost all of us can agree that our children are our future, that they are the future of our communities, of our businesses, and that caring for them and giving them the best possible chance is absolutely something we need to be doing. I mean, we know how important they are. We need their ideas, we need their energy, and we love them. We truly love them. And yet, there's a very real risk that we are facing, and that is making decisions about the education of our children based on some assumptions that aren't necessarily accurate. Now, what I'm talking about specifically is one, an assumption that the more time our children spend studying, the better prepared they will be for the future. And two, that they need to compete, that they need to catch up with the rest of the world in a very specific and standardized way. Look, if you believe these things, I am not blaming you because I felt the same way until I ended up living in Taiwan and started studying what was happening in education around Asia. And I started seeing things that just were not okay. In China, the Chinese government has put out a report years ago saying that they believe about 500 kids a year were losing, that they are committing suicide due to academic pressure, and that they believe about 23% of children have considered committing suicide. And I mean, if you dig into it, it's unbelievable. You will find pictures on the internet of kids in a classroom with IVs hooked up and amino acids running into their veins, just so that they can study a little bit longer without taking a break. This is competition taken to an extreme. And if you live in another part of the world, if you live in America or in Europe or somewhere else, you can kind of feel like, okay, well, they've got a problem over there. But here's the thing, it's not just them. This is a global thing. We have this competition going on. And in the United States, we are not adequately even measuring what's going on. When I researched this topic, I actually discovered a study that showed that in the United States, and this is the only study, the researchers at that time said it was the only study that had been done on this that they could find, showed that the youth suicide rate in the US is actually tracking with the school calendar year. And over the years, as the school year has become longer in an effort to help kids perform better academically, that youth suicide rate has gone up, even as the adult suicide rate was lowering. And that study came out before I published my book in 2017. But now there's a new study out showing that between 2007 and 2017, the youth suicide rate in America has tripled. This is absolutely unacceptable. And it's unacceptable that we're not even questioning this. We're not even looking at this. In politics, it is still a common thing to discuss whether we should make the school year longer. We need to actually be studying these things. Yes, I do believe in making data led decisions, in thinking through what we know to make a decision. But we need to avoid making the wrong assumptions and we need to be questioning things. And, I have some ideas of different things we can be doing. And there are a lot of great people out there who have amazing ideas. There are a lot of educators out there who need someone to be listening to them. They need someone to be talking to them because there have been educators for years saying, something's wrong with this. And yet, when policy is put into place, they end up becoming administrators more than experts on children. We are taking away their opportunity to do the jobs that they know how to do, to take away their opportunity to affect the children around them. And I also believe that each and every individual person has a power to make a huge impact on the kids in our lives. I have a huge amount of respect for teachers. And I also homeschool my kids. I was homeschooled myself. I have a huge understanding and respect for the incredible ability of every single child to have this innate desire and ability to learn. And for every person who wants to come alongside them to be an encouragement and to be a help in that process. And so I just want to make sure we are raising the awareness. There is a huge necessity that we start looking at what's happening to our children. You know, I don't even think we have a sense of how serious the problem is in this world. But we absolutely need to jump on this. We need to get involved in our kids' lives. We need to be talking to the kids we know and love to find out how they're processing things, how they're dealing with the stress, how they're dealing with the anxiety that might be present in their lives. And I really look forward to a conversation about constructive things we can do, about how we can make a movement to start looking at things differently, how we can create a movement where educators can tell us what they would do if they could do anything. Let's start a conversation. I would love to have you sign up for my newsletter and let me know. I want you to send me an email. Every email I send out, you can just reply. It'll go straight to my inbox. Let me know what you've experienced. Let me know your perspective on this issue. We might not agree, but the most important thing is that we start talking about it and then we come up with a real solution for our kids.